One of the really important things that we need to do when we're teaching students physics is to really teach them the concept. So often when people start teaching physics or learning physics, all that they see is all this math, and they're so overwhelmed by just the math that they don't see the greater concept in there. So one of the things we're going to be looking at today is we're going to be working up to solving problems with 2D motion. Okay, and the sequence I usually go through with my students, I usually do graphing motion. And we just talk about graphing. Okay, one of the key skills that comes out of that is, for me, as far as segmenting and building for students their knowledge and their ability to work higher level math problems, is the idea of doing a coordinate system and the idea of doing a data table every time they do a problem. Okay, which is really easy. Most students, when they're taught to graph, they're taught you do a graph and you go over so many in the x and you go over so many in the y, and so that would be 3 and that would be 4, and you can do all kinds of stuff from there. You do point slope formula, all kinds of stuff. So I start there because that's what they're familiar with. They've done that a lot. Then we go into one-dimensional motion, and we actually start working problems. Okay? But when I teach that, if I have a car driving across the road, what direction is it going? It's going in the x direction. So I put it on an XY. Okay? But we're not doing anything in the y, so I just scratch it out. If I'm graphing something, and this is where it gets confusing, this is where you have to do some bridging. Okay? When I'm graphing this 1D motion, what I have to do is we'll do the XY still, but I'll be sure that I label it. I'll label my x as time, and I'll label my y as my distance. Okay? That can get confusing because your x direction is not on your x-axis, and that can confuse students. So that's why I also always make them draw a picture.